When the PlayStation 5 launched, anyone who was actually able to get their hands on one had to deal with somewhat limited storage space. Despite boasting 825 gigabytes, only 667 gigabytes of it can actually be used. So, anyone looking to play plenty of games on the system would have to periodically delete games to free up space for new ones, since the PS5 also isn't compatible with external hard drives. Sony did say before launch that this would be resolved at a later date, and that time is finally almost here. Announced today on the PlayStation blog, Hideaki Nishino, Vice President of Platform Planning and Management, confirms that a major PlayStation 5 update is scheduled for April 14th. While the update will include several things, arguably the most important one is compatibility with external hard drives, specifically USB drives. With this feature, PS5 owners can transfer PS5 games to USB extended storage, and can also seamlessly transfer them back. The blog post even recommends reinstalling games from USB storage over re-downloading from a disk since it's much faster. However, unfortunately, PS5 games can't be played directly from an external hard drive, as they are designed to use the console's SSD. What's more, PS5 games can't be directly downloaded onto a USB drive either. And in case anyone is wondering about support for M.2 drives for SSD expansion, the blog reads that this feature is still being worked on, and is expecting a summer release. Although the PlayStation 5 has a special compression technique called the Kraken compression technology, which reduces some game files to half of its original size, as there are live examples such as Control Ultimate Edition and Resident Evil Village, it would be huge for us if they bring update for SSD expansion. The second feature is cross-generation share play for PS5 and PlayStation 4 owners. While there are plenty of individual games that allow friends to play games together, even if they're using different consoles, Watch Dogs Legion, for example, will get the feature soon. The update will allow them to use the share play feature as well. This includes things like being able to share screens between the two consoles, and the ability for PS5 owners to let their PS4 friends try out PS5 games. PS5 and PS4 owners will also be able to send requests to join their friends' games, which serves as a shortcut to sending an invite. Lastly, the game base menu will be improved in a number of ways, allowing for quicker access to important features. Among the new additions, there will be an option to disable in-game chat, and even adjust the individual volume of other players in the same chat, and automatic pre-downloads for game updates when they become available. Another update that came yesterday was new changes coming to the PS Android app, including the ability to remotely manage console storage and join multiplayer sessions. The slate of new PS5 improvements won't just extend to the console itself, but also PlayStation's mobile companion app, making it an even better way to access your profile while on the go. Highlighted by the PlayStation blog when discussing the myriad of changes coming in the new PS5 update, the Sony-owned publication detailed several features it recently made available for app users, while also confirming more are on the way. Players can expect some small but important additions in the near future, with Sony offering more options for those who want to keep up to date with their PlayStation experience while away from their console. According to the post, new features will be added to the service in the coming weeks, including the ability to join multiplayer sessions from the app, compare trophies with a friend, manage the console storage remotely, and filter products while browsing through the PS Store. It seems Sony is committed to making the app an important part of how players interact with their PlayStation console going forward, kitting it out with essential features and creating a more user-friendly experience. Seeing as players didn't have a lot of reason to download the app during the PlayStation 4 era, it'll be interesting to see if sprucing it up makes it a more useful addition this generation. Alongside the announcement, the post also reminded readers that 3 other features made their way to the app recently. The new additions allowed players to add games from the PS Store to their wishlist, get notifications when friends are online, and change their online status remotely. As for the bigger features coming to the console itself, Sony has made it so players can transfer games to external storage devices, meaning they don't have to fully uninstall them when they need additional space for new titles. Players on PlayStation 5 and 4 can also now use Share Play together while chatting in parties, allowing them to screen share regardless of whether they own a next-generation platform. On top of that, players will soon be able to pre-download updates, customize their game library, access new trophy settings, and easily disable game chat. It looks to be a significant suite of fresh additions that ultimately better the PlayStation 5 experience. Moving forward, we have some other PlayStation news that indicate further future updates to consoles and its community. The first one is Sony's remote play function could be more robust, as patent documents suggest the PS5 version of remote play might get an upgrade. As attention shifts toward the next generation of consoles, just what these consoles will do for gamers becomes a point of interest. The leap to a new generation should introduce features that give gamers the experience of something original, whether that shines through with flashy graphics, gameplay enhancements, or even new methods of interaction. Sony is busy filing patents for all sorts of devices, including a PS5 controller with voice commands as we discussed in a previous video, but a new filing might be shoring up remote play for PS5. Remote play has been a feature for some time in the PlayStation ecosystem, allowing players to access games on different devices through the Remote Play app. This includes streaming from a console to a mobile device on a Wi-Fi network to make PlayStation gaming more portable. It is also used to connect consoles, allowing players to stream from a PS5 to a PS4, for example, if those consoles are kept in different rooms of a house. It appears that for the PS5, Sony might be looking to enhance remote play to some degree. Sony's remote play, while useful for some, isn't as robust as it could be, but a new patent filing appears to shore up remote play for PS5, while probing some possible upgrades to the system. As with any patent document, there is a lot of technical jargon, but the problem the invention looks to address is that gamers across the world want to interact with one another, but need the tools to do so. The patent proposes a mechanism that allows even more people to become effectively connected to one another, and that can also provide entertainment. This mechanism will also be applied to more than just games. The patent documents are related to the functionality already established by remote play, so it would seem Sony intends to enhance this system for the PS5. While Sony already has Share Play, which allows another person to watch gameplay or even take control, this patent suggests remote play could be expanded to include more elements of Share Play, with the possibility of couch co-op in the future. This would be akin to Steam's Remote Play Together, which is working out its own bugs to make that experience better for PC gamers. While Sony's game development is focusing on AAA franchises as the main draw for gamers, something like an enhanced remote play that connects folks and allows for new ways to play games in the digital age could be a real winner for Sony. The PS5 is still in its early days, so time will tell if these interesting patent ideas come to fruition. This patent results in a recent move by Sony, where PlayStation posts a new job listing for a head of mobile that will be responsible for adapting some of its most popular franchises. PlayStation has a strong roster of high-profile first-party titles over a range of genres. With the steady popularity and profitability of mobile gaming, it is no surprise that PlayStation is looking to adapt some of its most popular franchises to make the jump to mobile. Mobile titles have come a long way from the popular Angry Birds and cut the rope to much larger and more complicated titles. With the increase in the power of the average cell phone, many companies are starting to want a slice of the mobile pie, with games like Genshin Impact being fully available on the platform and Blizzard even developing an entirely new Diablo title exclusively for mobile. Thanks to a new job listing for a head of mobile position at PlayStation, it seems that fans can expect to see some of their favorite PlayStation franchises on mobile stores within the next few years too. The post mentions that the new hire will have to manage multiple mobile games that are currently in development, as well as creating a plan outlining the next 3 to 5 years of PlayStation's mobile development as well. The post also mentions that, unsurprisingly, PlayStation will make the jump to mobile using the established popularity of its beloved first-party properties. While the job posting is understandably light on details as to what mobile projects PlayStation is currently developing or planning on pursuing, it is not difficult to speculate. PlayStation has a wide range of high-profile franchises that could be a great starting point for PlayStation's presence on mobile. It is not hard to imagine franchises like The Last of Us, God of War, or Uncharted making a big splash on the mobile market, and with the wide range of genres that PlayStation's first-party titles cover, there is a lot of potential for each of these mobile titles to have its own distinct identity as well. The move to mobile will undoubtedly be met with some pushback from some PlayStation fans that will see mobile games as lesser than their console and PC counterparts, similarly to the uproar that followed Blizzard's announcement of Diablo Immortal. However, the jump stands to be a great way for PlayStation's titles to reach a whole new audience, and the increase in developed games means that some of PlayStation's more dormant franchises like Sly Cooper or Jak and Daxter could receive new entries on mobile platforms for fans of those series. Sony also invests a ton of money in Epic Games, as Sony's $200 million investment in Epic Games is a signal of their close relationship and the future of collaboration between the two companies. Epic Games is one of the fastest-growing gaming companies in recent years, having launched its own PC gaming storefront and a new Unreal Engine after the massive success of Fortnite. Recent investment funding yielded $1 billion for the company, a huge chunk of which came from none other than Sony. The Sony Group Corporation invested $200 million of the overall $1 billion raised in Epic Games' most recent round of investments. It's a huge sum of money that Sony CEO Kenichiro Yoshida said would strengthen the collaboration between the two companies. Other interests that invested in Epic Games in this round of funding include Appaloosa, Baillie Gifford, and the Ontario Teachers' Pension Board. In a press release, Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney said the investment will accelerate our work around building connected social experiences in Fortnite, Rocket League, and Fall Guys. The $1 billion in funding brought the valuation of Epic Games to $28.7 billion total as of April 2021. According to Bloomberg, Epic Games was at about a $17 billion total valuation in June 2020, which means the company gained more than $10 billion in value in 1 year. The Sony Group Corporation, known just as the Sony Corporation before April 2021, has had a close relationship with Epic Games since the company's rise and has been working directly with Epic since at least early 2020. In fact, Epic Games' Unreal Engine 5 debuted in May 2020 and was revealed first on the PlayStation 5 console, which at the time signaled a blossoming relationship. In July 2020, Sony invested a larger sum of $250 million in Epic Games, which gave the company a 1.4% stake in the company as a whole. This further investment will increase that initial stake, but it will not give Sony much of a significant say in the company as a whole. To compare, Tencent Games, for example, owns about 40% of Epic Games stock as well as the entirety of Riot Games. Although the completed $1 billion drive shifted many factors in Epic Games, after the recent round of funding Tim Sweeney will remain the controlling shareholder of the company he founded. The popularity of Epic Games properties, especially their free-to-play ones, seems to have interested Sony enough that some are speculating it is pursuing an exclusive relationship with the Fortnite developer, though neither Epic Games nor Sony has confirmed these theories. While no major collaborative announcements have been made based on these large investments on either Sony or Epic Games' part, they nevertheless seem certain that having a stake in Epic is necessary for the future of PlayStation and their array of other properties. Before jumping into our final topic of PS Now versus Xbox Game Pass, I want to share you guys another news. According to a financial report, the PlayStation 5 console is the best-selling console in the UK for the second month in a row now, and it also has already sold more than Nintendo Wii U, PS Vita, and Sega Dreamcast did during their entire lifetimes. Although most are likely aware, it is still incredibly difficult to purchase a PS5. After a rocky launch in November of last year that left many hopeful players without access to next-generation gaming, fans assumed that the supply would catch up with the demand in the next few months. This did not happen though, as the consoles are still incredibly rare. Taken on its own, surpassing systems like the Wii U, PS Vita, and Sega Dreamcast isn't much to write home about. All of those systems are historically considered failures in terms of total sales, but considering the restrictions placed on the PS5 at the moment makes the achievement more noteworthy. Not only is Sony doing its best to make enough supply to keep up with demand, but it has also had to do an almost completely digital launch for the PS5, meaning the typical method of store distribution had to be heavily revised. The other achievement here is that the PS5 is the top-selling console in the UK for 2 months in a row. Even under normal circumstances, this would be impressive and show a level of dominance in the console market, but considering the aforementioned limitations, it is even more eye-catching. As players in the UK and anywhere else in the world will know, it is still very hard to get a PS5, so the fact that there are players lining up to get their hands on the console, and it is already the best seller, means that this trend could continue for a while. With any luck, parts shortages around the world will start to ease up in the next few months as things slowly shift back to normal, but many are reporting shortages will continue into 2022. Assuming the supply starts to catch up, it will gradually become much easier to purchase a PS5, and fans all around the world will finally get to experience the thrill of next-generation gaming for themselves. Now jumping into our final topic, we have to discuss the rival between PlayStation and Xbox, which depends on how they deliver the games. Microsoft and Sony are constantly putting efforts to make their platforms more appealing to their audience by means of new and innovative features, which have garnered varying degrees of success over the years. However, it seems that Microsoft is currently poised to dominate Sony in at least one regard: Xbox Game Pass. The service was already popular and worth the asking price when it launched, but it seems that Microsoft's recent decisions regarding the service has put it directly against Sony, which seems to be going with the conventional route when it comes to PlayStation as a platform. Xbox Game Pass certainly has a lot of merits to its name, and one of the biggest and most convincing among them is the day-one access to select AAA releases. Microsoft seems to continuously be on the lookout for snagging as many high-profile AAA releases as possible and making them available on the service at launch. People Can Fly's Outriders launched on Xbox Game Pass, and it has been announced that MLB The Show 21 would launch on the service as well. The most interesting bit here is that MLB The Show was previously exclusive to Sony platforms, and the game would cost $70 on a PS5. This isn't to state that Sony's PS Plus and PS Now services are bad by any means, far from it. PS5 exclusive Destruction All-Stars launched on PS Plus in February, and Oddworld Soulstorm also launched on the service just recently. While there might be great games available on the Sony side of things, it doesn't compare to the consistency and the AAA availability on the Game Pass service. Microsoft is currently on a shopping spree for studios, constantly trying to diversify its portfolio by acquiring both indie and AAA developers. In addition to acquisitions of Ninja Theory and Double Fine Productions, Microsoft has recently completed its Bethesda deal, following which every Bethesda game would be launching on Game Pass. Bethesda is currently developing a few of the most highly anticipated games right now, including The Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield. There are also rumor claims that Valve is trying to bring Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass to Steam, rather than the other way around, and also a Microsoft-Nintendo collaboration is possible. Xbox Game Pass has a lot of upsides for platforms outside of Xbox. Microsoft has shared specific interesting positives related to Game Pass, for example that Xbox can greenlight games millions of Game Pass users might play even if a traditional release may have otherwise struggled. Perhaps more interesting to Steam is that Microsoft says that Xbox Game Pass subscribers play more games, play more diverse games, spend more time playing games, and most importantly spend more on those games. If Valve sees those aspects of Game Pass as beneficial, and Microsoft sees it beneficial to reach the Steam audience, it could just be a matter of reaching a financial agreement where both platforms benefit. Microsoft may decide this could pull users away from the Xbox app ecosystem on PC, where it brings in a higher percentage of sales. However, Steam has a huge amount of users that Microsoft may not be able to reach otherwise. Whether Valve is trying to bring Xbox Game Pass to PC or not, it's clear that the Xbox Game Pass subscription service is only just getting started. More platforms, whether it's iOS, browsers, or potentially Steam, could be available to choose from in the months or years to come. If fans had their way, Xbox Game Pass would likely be everywhere. On the other hand, Sony is taking a more restrained approach to acquisitions, instead pumping a huge chunk of its budget on making the highest quality first-party AAA releases. While many fans would consider Sony's conventional approach to be outdated, it certainly has resulted in a more consistently high-quality exclusive library of games. Furthermore, Sony is confident in its ability to sell consoles with the likes of Horizon, Spider-Man, Uncharted, and God of War. While it remains to be seen how each approach pans out, it's clear that Microsoft and Game Pass are currently the more forward-thinking of the bunch. Sony has certainly taken note, and rumors have already started swirling around regarding a potential competitor for Game Pass. Last November, PlayStation teased a new model like Xbox Game Pass, but no further information has been given as of yet. Even though Sony doesn't want to compete with Xbox Game Pass, there is no doubt that there are talks going on behind the scenes about creating some kind of PlayStation alternative. God of War creator Jaffe confirmed as much, saying that I know people at Sony who have told me that they are doing some stuff. There will be a response to Game Pass. He also pushed back against people calling for Jim Ryan, the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, to be fired. Jaffe explained that Ryan and Sony don't owe anybody an immediate explanation, and that they can reveal more information when they feel like it. It is interesting that Sony both has the PlayStation Now subscription service and the PlayStation Plus service. Both offer free games to users, albeit in different amounts and ways. PlayStation Now is primarily a streaming service, allowing players access to hundreds of PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. PlayStation Now hasn't taken off like Xbox Game Pass has recently, probably because it doesn't have a big push for newer games. It is unclear whether Sony will try to fold this new response to Xbox Game Pass into existing services like PS Now or PS Plus, or if it plans to create a separate third service. In this situation, recent reports suggest Sony is supposedly working on expanding the PlayStation Now service into India alongside its other initiatives, which could mean the calm before the storm. According to a report by IGN India, Sony is mulling over plans to expand the PS Now service into India, while raising awareness of its other game initiatives too. This includes the Play at Home initiative as well as PlayStation Plus collection for the PS5. Several of the anonymous sources quoted by IGN suggest both would help Sony maintain a presence until it announces its potential rival to Xbox Game Pass. However, some problems are getting in the way. Most notably, the PS5's availability. According to IGN India, when the PS5 first launched in India, it had fewer than 4,000 units imported to the country, and they were all the disc versions. Reportedly, the company is working on restocking the PS5 there, but Sony has not officially confirmed the PS5 restock date for India. Another big issue for Sony in India is the pricing for the PS5's exclusive games. According to the anonymous sources, some PS5 games including Sackboy: A Big Adventure and Demon's Souls didn't sell many units in India compared to games like Spider-Man, Miles Morales. The report's sources also claim upcoming PS5 exclusives Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart and Returnal have only had pre-orders in the double digits. They said this is due to the increased price of 5,000 rupees for the games, whereas PS4 exclusives were generally 3,999 rupees. One of the sources said it doesn't help that both games are not established IP in India, on top of the fact that gamers can get cheaper PS4 games instead of buying the new ones for the PS5. The report also added that most current third-party PS5 games are cheaper than Sony's first-party games. Despite all of this, Sony is still pushing forward with its online initiatives in India, but it remains to be seen how pushing services like PlayStation Now could have an impact on Sony's presence in that market. Fans have high expectations for Sony to create something worthwhile. Though Sony's CEO doesn't see the company adding new games to a subscription model straight away, there could be a compromise to please fans. Maybe PlayStation exclusives can be added to this new service for free after a one-year period? Or maybe Sony could address many users' concerns about the lack of backwards compatibility. Especially with the shutdown of the PlayStation Store on devices like the PS3, PSP, and PS Vita, many players don't want to lose out on some of these consoles' more obscure games. In any case, players will have to wait until Sony is ready to reveal its plans, as usual. We have already discussed the backward compatibility issues with the PS5, and also new patents filed by Sony that indicates the backward compatibility upgrade in previous videos. The subscription services and other features extending to a country like India, which is a PlayStation-dominant area, we could already see that Sony is ready to make some decisions and announcements on the requesting of the fans. It will be good to see if Sony upgrade the service worldwide and create more possible accessibility options and freedom for the developers and its fan base. And that's all for the video guys. Like and share the video for a bigger audience, comment your thoughts on the topics discussed. Subscribe if you are new and click the bell icon, and until then from SMPV it's goodbye.